Well, John, what are your reflections on Saturday, 48 hours after?
Mixed emotions. I think there's disappointment that we didn't win the game, considering the chances that we had in the second half and the overall performance. But you're pleased with that, pleased with the performance, pleased with the fact that we've gone away from home and we've taken a point against a side who I think are going to be really competitive in the league this year. So I think there's plenty to take from the game that went well, and yeah, there's still loads that we need to do better.
There's always been positivity around the camp this season, but has that second half performance sparked a bit of extra optimism, perhaps?
I hope so. Less so the optimism. I think what I want is the attitude and the mentality from the second half to then spill into the game tomorrow night. That's the most important thing for me, which I don't think we've had off the back of positive performances going into midweek away games. So we've got to change something. We've got to make sure that we have that mentality going into the game on Tuesday night, because Plymouth are a really good side at home. So yeah, we have to make sure that those are the things that we put right. Definitely after what we've done midweek for the past couple of weeks.
You said about it there, the midweek games and how they've been so far this season. You asked about it in the presser this morning, but can you put your finger on what does need to change, or is it just a case of trying and going again?
No, it's been difficult to know. After the Stoke game, we thought it might have been a one-off, and we didn't quite have the result wasn't quite as bad against Cardiff, but I thought the performance was the same as what we put in that night up at Stoke. So. It's something that I think is important to get the right balance. We don't want to dwell on it too much. We don't want to be obsessed with it, and we've talked about it a lot this morning. But we also want to make sure that we do address it. There's no point in going into this game thinking everything's going to be, fine without at least addressing some of the things that maybe we didn't do right on the night there. So we've got a couple of ideas, and I think most importantly that it's going to be down to the players and their attitude going into the game. And I'm very, very positive and optimistic about that off the back of the weekend.
That press in the second half and the level of aggression, is it something you'll look to build on, or does it change in terms of approach game by game?
It does change in terms of approach game by game, and to be honest, even the two halves against Hull, we were slightly more passive than we would like to have been in the first half, but largely the game plan was good. I thought we got done by an outstanding goal by Hull. I think if you go into the game at half time there and you don't concede the goal, I know we did, but if you don't concede the goal, then you think, that's a decent away performance, 0-0. But we did, and still at 1-0 away from home, you give yourself a chance. If you look at the second half, we gave ourselves more than enough of a chance to win the game. So we have to make sure that we stay in games, we don't get blown away. We've proven this year that we're capable of coming back from deficits, and we've got to keep doing the right things.
How did the lads come out on Saturday? I can imagine these hundreds of mile trips must take their toll on them.
Yeah, the effort level was incredible. It was right up there at the weekend, and the lads were definitely tired after the game, but we've tried to do everything as well as we possibly can in terms of the way that we travel, in terms of the way that we eat and recover, and today will just be all about recovery, and the lads would have done that yesterday as well. We decided not to come in yesterday to give the lads a bit of time at home and to just add a bit of rest onto that. So yeah, we expect the boys to maybe not be 100% firing today, but by the time we kick off tomorrow night to be right at it.
Plymouth, not much to go off from the weekend, but what do you make of them so far this season?
Yeah, I disregard the weekend. I think that was a game that is completely irrelevant for tomorrow night. But at home, the games that we've watched so far this year, have been a real threat. So I've watched a couple of Plymouth home games and their away game at Burnley actually, where they played really well and were a bit unlucky. And they were a really good side. Plymouth are a really good side. Take the lead position out of it. I think they've got threats all over the pitch. They play in a really good system, well coached, all very, very comfortable on the ball. They look to play. So we've got a real task on our hands.
Any areas you can perhaps look to exploit? Not that obviously you'll reveal anything to us.
Yeah, there always are. I think even with the best sides in the league, there are areas I think that naturally they're going to have weaknesses, and Plymouth have shown that when they're on their game, they're really good, and if they're not, there's definitely areas we can expose.
And I can imagine with the sort of quick turnaround, it's the same squad to pick from.
Yeah, the same 21 we went to Hull with.
Just finally, it's a huge trek for you all today, and the fans will be making the trip tomorrow. So how much do we need them?
Yeah, we're going to need them exactly as we did at the weekend, and we saw a load of the fans at the service station on the way back on Saturday, which is always nice to bump into them after a positive performance. And there's a load of positivity within the fan base at the moment, and the results, we need to pick up results, definitely need to pick up results, but I think the main thing for fans and any football fan, including myself, is to see a team I think that reflects them and reflects the city, and that's much more what we saw at the weekend. So we need to do a bit more of that at the weekend, because we've got very, very proud fans that travel up and down the country ad infinitum, and we know they're going to do that again tomorrow night, and it'll be a good atmosphere.